Hello and welcome, Katie here. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am back with another project for Imagine Crafts, and today we're going to be playing with our fireworks shimmer sprays. Now, if you're not familiar with them, they are a dye-based shimmer spray that coordinate with the Memento Ink line. So I thought we'd do a little bit of color mixing with our fireworks sprays and our Memento inks. So I've got Pear Tart, Bamboo Leaves, and London Fog shimmer spray, fireworks spray. I've got some blue Memento inks here, but we're going to pull in some greens also. This panel was cut from that hot press watercolor paper. And if you're interested in receiving this panel design for free, there's two ways. One, if you've got an account with Creative Fabrica already, I'm going to link a direct link to that SVG file, and you can go right ahead and download it. If you don't have an account with Creative Fabrica already, I have a partnership with them that will allow you to get 10 free downloads with commercial use. No questions asked. That link will be in the description box below also, so you can go check my partnership page out with them and see if it's something that you're interested in. If you are and you sign up for an account, just come back to this video, click that link in the description box that takes you right to this SVG file, and you'll be able to get it for free. Okay, so I've got a jar of clean, clear water. You can see that up in the top left corner there, and using my number 10 round watercolor brush, dipping in and dabbing the Pear Tart. Now, I have the 1/2 ounce bottles of the fireworks sprays. They do come in 2-ounce bottles. I'm using a little bit of water. You can see I just put a little bit on my brush, a little bit on the glass mat there, mixing it. I'm not trying to thin it so much, but I'm trying to stretch it a little bit. We think of this as like an underpainting. We're just trying to get a light color, light wash of color before we start building our colors. So first up there was Pear Tart. Now I'm going to do the same with Bamboo Leaves. And Bamboo Leaves is so pretty. It's got like this gold shimmer in there. It's really, really pretty. Okay, so again, dab, dab, dab. Now, I want to mention your watercolor brush. You don't have to use a number 10 round. You can use whatever you got. You got a flat one, use a flat. You can use a smaller one if you got a number 4. Just remember, the bigger the brush, the less time it's going to take. The smaller the brush, the more time it's going to take. That's all. So I am going to dry this a little, just kind of take some of the moisture out a little bit. It's still pretty damp, but I want to start building the color. So now I've got Cottage Ivy, Memento Ink, and I'm going to come in with a little bit more of the Bamboo Leaves fireworks spray, and then I'm just going to mix it around. And then I'm going to start adding. Now here's where you can see that gold shimmer that's in the Bamboo Leaves. It's so pretty. Okay, so dab, dab, dab. What I love about this technique is it's so fluid and loose. You don't have to be perfect here. In this case, I am trying to keep the lighter color shining through just to give us some variation, but we're just dabbing. You don't have to be super detailed and perfect because we're just building up color. So it's a really nice, relaxing technique. Okay, so once I kind of get where I want, I'm going to come in with some Northern Pine. And the one thing I want to mention is you don't have to use fireworks sprays. You can use whatever you have. If you've got other dye-based shimmer sprays, use those. You don't have to use fireworks sprays. I'm using them because I'm doing a video for Imagine, so I'm using what I have. But you can take your ink pads or your re-inkers for your dye-based ink pads and do the same technique and create whatever color combinations you want, or if you need a different variation of greens or blues, whatever you need, you can mix them and be able to create some customizable shimmers without needing to make a whole bottle of shimmer spray or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with Olive Grove just to give a little bit of browny green, and deepen the greens up a little bit. Again, just dabbing, bringing it around the frame, just to add a little bit more depth and variation into the color. Now, you can't tell here because just the lighting and everything, shimmer doesn't show up great on camera, but it's there, I promise. Now, this is where I was doing a little experiment. I really like this color combination because I had tried it. So this is Teal Zeal, Bahama Blue, Nautical Navy, and Paris Dusk. And now I'm adding a little bit of London Fog fireworks spray. And watch how this mixes up. So pretty. I thought about doing just the panel this way, but I hadn't tried the green. I wanted to see how it looked with the green, like a blue-green color combination. So that's why I decided to do this. You don't have to. You could have ended it with the green. You could have deepened it up with different greens, whatever you like. But I thought I'd throw in this blue-gray combination to see what it looked like. And I liked how it turned out. The one thing I will say is that the London Fog shimmer spray, fireworks spray, has a ton of shimmer. Doesn't look like it here. You see more of the blues coming through. As soon as I dry it with the hairdryer, you're going to see that here in a second, it takes over. I mean, it really overpowers. Lots of shimmer, which is okay, but it was too much. So you can kind of see the shine that's there, the white that, you know, comes to the surface. So I take a damp paper towel and I just dab off some of that shimmer. There's still a ton on there, but it was too much. I didn't like it with all that shimmer because it took away from the color variations between the greens and the blues. So I am dabbing off. You don't have to do that. Now, once I am satisfied, I will set this off to dry. And then in the meantime, I start working on my sentiment. I've got Versamark ink, a piece of black cardstock, and some white embossing powder, and using a stamp from Maker Forte, Happy Father's Day. I will heat set that until it is smooth and melted, and then we'll start putting our panel together. Now, one of the things I want to mention, I create some splatter. I wanted to use up the shimmer that I had here on the desk, so I just add more blues to my mixture there just to deepen it up a little bit, because the fireworks sprays actually should show up pretty decently on darker cardstock. And you can kind of see that there in the top corner there, the gray. And of course on the green, you can see it there too. Now I wanted to add some white splatter. So I took out my irRESISTible spray in Wedding Dress. Now this stuff, I have a constant problem with it. It thickens up quite a bit. So I have to be mindful and check it every now and again because I have to add water to it. So I add about a pipette and a half because mine only fills up halfway. And I do it about 3 times and really shake the heck out of it to mix it up to keep my splatter fluid. Otherwise, there's just blobs that come out. So there's probably a little bit more white splatter on there than should be, but that's because I tried to thin it at first with just my paintbrush and it was just too pale and not opaque enough for me. So now I'm just using some ivory twine. I've got double-sided adhesive, you can see there on the back of the panel. To adhere our shimmery panel down, I used some spray adhesive. It's one of my favorites to use for intricate detailed die cuts like this. So I can't recommend that enough. And then I just adhered it to a piece of gray cardstock, the slate cardstock. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure and check the description box below and grab those free downloads. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day and I'll catch you in the next video.